How much time?
1502, man.
1502 matter, sir. This is what? 1501 is main matter.
1501 for judgment.
For the sake of clarity, following questions may be answered as under. Whether the provisions of the IBC would prevail over the Customs Act, and if so, to what extent? The IBC would prevail over the Customs Act to the extent that once moratorium is imposed in terms of Section 14 or 35(5) of the IBC, as the case may be, the respondent authority only has a limited jurisdiction to assess, determine the quantum of customs duty and other levies. The respondent authorities does not have the power to initiate recovery of dues by means of sale, confiscation as provided under the Customs Act. B. Whether the respondent could claim title over the goods and issue notices to sell the goods in terms of the Customs Act and the liquidation process has been initiated. Answer negative. On the above discussions, the following are the conclusions. Once moratorium imposed in terms of Section 14 or 35(3)(5) of IBC as the case may be, the respondent authority only has a limited jurisdiction to assess, determine the quantum of customs duty and other levies. The respondent authority does not have the power to initiate recovery of dues by means of sale, confiscation as provided under the Customs Act. 2. After such assessment, the respondent authority has to submit its claim concerning customs duty, operational debt, in terms of the procedure laid down in strict compliance of the time periods prescribed under the IBC before adjudicating the authority. In any case, the IRP, RP liquidator can immediately secure goods from the respondent authority to be dealt with appropriately in terms of IBC. Resultantly, we allow the appeal and set aside the impugned order and judgment of the NCLAT.
Immensely.
One 15.1.
This matter is linked to the one that is just been pronounced by the CJI. In this case, there were 2 points for consideration was whether respondent duty liquidator was justified in discontinuing the second Swiss challenge process for sale of part of the assets to the corporate debtor, where the appellant was declared as an anchor bidder and opting for a private sale process through direct negotiations in respect of the composite assets of the corporate debtor. If so, was the NCLAT justified in directing the respondent to liquidator to restart the entire process of private sale after issuing an open notice to prospective buyers instead of confining the process to those parties who had participated in the process? We have analyzed the entire statement and office of the IBC and the enactment in Chapter 3 of which deals with the liquidation process right from the stage of initiation of liquidation till the stage of dissolution of the corporate debtor, and have concluded that the impugned judgment passed by NCLAT to the extent that it has modified the order dated 16th August 21 passed by NCLT and directed restraining of private sale process is what shall set aside. In our opinion, the private sale process of the corporate assets of the corporate debtor should be taken further by the respondent to liquidator without losing any further time, and we concluded at the earliest. All the eligible bidders who have made earnest money deposits would be entitled to participate in the negotiations to be conducted by the liquidator for privately selling the consolidated assets to the corporate debtor. The process of negotiations that commenced on 24th August 21 shall be taken to a logical end and brought to a closure within 4 weeks from the date of passing of this.
One 1502 for orders. 1502 for orders.
Samal. The concern of the original petitioners and the monitoring committee merit due consideration of this court. Much good work has been done in the state of Karnataka because of the action initiated by the original petitioner and the subsequent judicial intervention by this court. In fact, it is this progress made steadily over the past decade that weighed with this court to even consider the relief regarding raising of the ceiling limit sought by the present applicant. The concerns raised by the original petitioner of possible over-excavation and its adverse impact on intergenerational equity must be balanced against the concern of the other parties, as the principles of sustainable development also comes into play. This court has generally accepted the recommendations of the CEC when it comes to the ceiling limit. In the present case, the CEC has recommended a complete relaxation of the ceiling limit, but we are not inclined to allow the same in toto. Rather, the situation merits a cautionary approach, keeping in view of the concern raised and to ensure that any changes in the situation with respect to the mining activity in the state of Karnataka is brought about gradually. We are of the opinion that the ceiling limit of iron ore mining may be raised from 28 metric tons to 35 MMT for district Ballari and 7 MMT to 15 MMT to Chitradurga and Tumkur districts collectively. Conservation of ecology and the environment must go hand in hand with the spirit of economic development, and fine balance between two goals is what is sought to be achieved even now. IAS 83141, 72931, 218 are disposed on the above terms. As far as the IA 10973 of 2008 is concerned, the same relates to direction to the CEC and the monitoring committee regarding deciding application for enhancement of MPAP in terms of the earlier orders of this court. The same may be considered by the court on the next date of hearing.
D. EB is a 15.
1503. 1503.
The question raised in the present set of petitions relates to promises made by political parties for the distribution of free goods or freebies as a part of their election manifesto or during election speeches. The main contentions of the petition is that such pre-election promises, which have a large-scale impact on the economy of the state, cannot be permitted. The petition submits that such pre-election promises are being made by political parties without any assessment of the financial implication on the state is nothing but an attempt to attract the vote bank. This goes against the spirit of reasonable electioneering and is adversely affecting free and fair elections. This severely affects the level playing field between the different political parties. The money that is being paid by the taxpayers is ultimately being misused for political parties, candidates to gain or retain power. In this batch of petitions, there are two sets of petitions. The first batch relates to pre-election freebies, which may influence voters at the time of elections. The second set of petitions challenging the grant of benefits by the governments, which do not relate to any welfare measure or development activity, but rather are a ploy to capture vote banks. The land solicitor responded, and thereafter the election commission, additionally some other implicit respondents and all that. And ultimately, freebies may create a situation where the state government cannot provide basic amenities due to lack of funds, and the state is pushed towards imminent bankruptcy. In the same breath, we could remember that such freebies are extended utilizing taxpayers' money only for increasing the popularity of the party and electoral prospects. We have considered the issues raised in this batch of petitions from various angles, as well as the stands taken by the Union of India, Election Commission of India, and some political parties who have filed intervention applications before us. There can be no denying the fact that an electoral democracy such as us, the true power ultimately lies with the electorate. It is the electorate that decides which party or candidate comes to power, and also judges the performance of the said party or candidate at the end of the legislative terms during the next round of the elections. It is also necessary to highlight herein the point raised by some of the interveners that all promises cannot be equated with freebies as they are related to welfare schemes or for the public good. Not only are these issues a part of the directive principles of the state policy, but are also responsibility of the welfare state. At the same time, the worry raised by the petitioners herein that under the guise of electoral promises, physical responsibility is being
This IA is for fixing up the main matter for final hearing, your lord. If the matter is pending since 2010, serial number 1.
No, I'm not seeing.
All right, third week of September.
Great.
Item 2.
Item 2, Lordships, this appeal is of 2011. And if Lordship so pleases, would Lordship be able to be kind enough to pass an order in terms of page 17 of that?
It's 5 judge matter.
Page 17.
No, it's a 5 judge matter.
No, it's not a 5 judge matter. It's a division bench matter.
Then why this was allowed by the 5
No,
judge?
actually, this matter was heard, then it again went off listed, then it came back. If Lordship so indulges an order in the nature of page 17, we'd be very grateful. Since 2011, we have got a decree, but we have not been able to execute it. I'm so grateful. It's been a pleasure to appear before your Lordship all the time,
Thank you,
and we wish you a very, very happy retired life.
thank you, thank you,
And also a very warm welcome to Justice Lalit.
thank you.
Grateful wishes.
Item 3.
Application for early hearing.
All right, expedite.
Item 4.
Well, this prayer is only the application of Supreme Court Legal Services Committee. This is still a deal with the legal in 2014.
All right, we'll expedite the hearing, 2014, maybe sometime in November.
5.
Item 5, my lords, your lordships had at page 11 granted a date earlier, my lords. If your lordship could grant any date, the Chief Justice of India and the Chief Justice of India.
The request, not I'm appellants 1, 2, 3.
September.
Grateful, your lords.
6.
I am for the respondent, my lord, 3 and 4.
All right, expedite.
Lord, may I say just one line, Lord, because I am the one of the luckiest member, my lord, of this bar who appeared on the very first day of your lordships and even on the last day, but still we will miss all of you.
Thank you.
Coming all the way from a remote place, appearing before your lordship was an immense pleasure, my lord.
Thank you, thank you.
Item 7.
May please, your lordships, this is an
appear for the
application for,
respondent here. I'll
this is
just
an
go with the-
application for early hearing, my lords. Your lordship is
This is
directed
an
by
application by
order.
the petitioner, but first I'll go with I'll support their request for this matter to be listed.
All right. After 4
But can I also add a word, Lords? We are so sorry, we are going to miss you, but so excited also to have this.
my brother is there, don't worry. Yes,
Grateful, my lords.
Item 8.
My lords, this is an application for early hearing. My lords, the issue here is that despite there being a division bench order in my favor, because of order of the collector, every
all right,
subsequent...
expedite.
I'm obliged.
Item 9.
Lordship, this is an early hearing application in which previously also there is a direction for hearing to be expedited. My lords may keep...
All right, post sometime in September.
Obliged.
End of it.
Item 10.
All right, expedite.
Lords, CJI says,
Learned Attorney General.
your lordships, biological family is sitting, my lord, on this side, but your lordship is a karta of a larger family, which is, my lord, on this side. Lord, on behalf of the learned Attorney General and on my behalf, I thank your lordships for being an excellent karta, my lord, of our family, lordship, the larger family. Your lordship would really be missed.
So Attorney General is there on the, please.
I say something, my lords.
Yes. It's a very good.
It's always a sad feeling that we have when a judge, and especially the Chief Justice of India, with whom we have had a very close relationship for the past 8 years, when you were elevated to the Supreme Court of India, is due to retire. And to me, it's difficult to reconcile myself to the feeling that the young and dapper person who is sitting there is now going to retire fully from the judiciary out at a very, very young age. But I won't repeat what I have been saying earlier, because it will look like a gramophone with its needle stuck, that this is not the age at which our judges of the Supreme Court should retire. And that's not the age at which the judges of the High Court should also retire. But anyway, that's not within my control. I can only repeat the same thing. But what is outstanding so far as Chief Justice Ramana is concerned is the persuasion with which he was able to clear the areas of the appointment, the vacancies. And I understand that more than 200
This meeting is being recorded.
vacancies were filled up in the High Court. I think it's a Herculean task which was done. More than 100 members were appointed to the tribunal, all on account of, and I was at the receiving end from time to time. Whenever it was found that these vacancies were not being filled up, and had to communicate your lordship's hire as it were to the government. And it succeeded to a very great extent. And for the first time, you have had the full court of 34 judges sitting at one time itself. And this, I think, is a remarkable achievement for the purpose of the progress of the judiciary and the disposal of cases. I believe that your lordships have made very many speeches, and there are only one or two small extracts which I would like to read from your lordships is about the changing face of the judicial function, especially of the Supreme Court. Your lordships had said, till a few decades ago, expectations from a judge were limited to the resolution of a dispute between the parties before the courts. Now every conceivable problem in society is expected to be addressed by the judiciary. People want the judiciary to guide them in every turn of their life, which means that the responsibility which is being placed and which is being accepted by your lordships is great, very great indeed. And again, in regard to fostering social harmony, your lordships in one of the speeches said, in the 21st century, we cannot allow petty, narrow, and divisive issues to dictate the human and societal relationship. We have to rise above all the divisive issues to remain focused on human development. A non-inclusive approach is an invitation to disaster. We are losing an intellectual, we are losing an excellent judge, and all that we can say is that so far as your lordships are concerned, your lordships will start a new era in your career, and I have no doubt that it will be as fruitful and as productive as the one which your lordship has just completed on the bench of the Supreme Court of India. Thank you.
Lord, on the bar, Lord, I would like to make a very special mention because your lordships have been extremely nice to the bar. So in that sense, it will be a great loss to all of us. We have actually been benefited by your lordship's tenure in so many ways. Not only have your lordships taken care of us as part of the same family, treated us like your own family members, your lordship have also ensured that the prestige of this institution is also maintained, and a clear signal has been given that this court means business, this court will uphold the constitution, this court will ensure that the constitutional rights of the people are never compromised. Lord, I joined the learned Attorney General. He would be about, I think, 27, your lordship senior, and still working. So it's really sad that we lose our judges at this age, Lord, because when your lordships are really at your prime, and I'm sure easily at least another 5-7 years of good productive work which your lordships at this prime, which your lordships have the experience that your lordships have gained, the country will be missing. But I guess that is destiny, your lordships. We will all have to reconcile to that. And we all, Lord, from the bar, we wish your lordships a very healthy, bright future. And Lord, I also feel that it is just the start of a new innings. And in this new innings, your lordship will have more satisfaction because as of now, there are a lot of limitations on your lordships in this holding this office. And once those limitations go away, probably, Lord, I feel that your lordship will have a more satisfying next inning. We all, Lord, pray for your lordship's good health and Lord, good future.
Thank you, Lord. We have personally seen, my lord, we have personally seen, my lord, that meeting and accepting each and every demand of the bar. We have seen, my lord, that now the waiting area, this utility lounge, even, my lord, this parking area, then this auditorium. Each and every demand of the bar was accepted, my lord, by my lords. And we are really grateful that whatever we expect from any Honorable Chief Justice of India, that was fulfilled. Any corner of this premises, we will find somewhere where my lord's impact is there. We are really grateful and we wish all the best. You are not going to retire. Knowing you well, we feel that you are going to serve in the future and you will contribute more for the nation. Thank you.
Yeah, I complete 50 years in the Supreme Court this year. And I've seen many Chief Justices come, many Chief Justices go. And the learned solicitor mentioned about your biological family and the family at this side, but there's another family that you take care of. That's on that side. The family of judges. You have taken care of that family very well. And I tell you why. When the sea is calm, the ship will sail. But we are going through very turbulent times. And it is difficult for the ship to sail. It is there that this court will remember you for having maintained that balance even in turbulent times. You have ensured that the dignity and the integrity of the court is maintained, that the government is called to answer, that the vision of the nation is kept in mind in the course of your judicial determinations. We thank you for what you have done for all the families that you headed, and we remember you for a long, long time, for you have actually collaborated with everyone for the purposes of maintaining what the high standards of the judiciary. And I think the upswing of the court has already started, and I'm sure that your successor will carry it forward. Thank you.
But may I have, with the liberty from my Lord Justices Lalit and my Lord Justice Kohli, address my Lord the Chief Justice. Lord, if I can say, your Lordships have been a citizen's judge. Lord, I speak on behalf of vast multitude of citizens of this country. You stood up for them. You upheld their rights. You upheld the Constitution. When you took over, I wrote that day an article. I was skeptical. I was skeptical after what the court had gone through. I must say, your Lordships excelled our expectations. You lived beyond anybody's expectations. You did what is really expected to be done by this court. It was amazing to see. That real checks and balance which is required to be kept between judiciary, executive and the parliament. You did it. And you did it with a smile. You did it with utmost courtesy to the institution, to the lawyers, to everybody who stood up, even parties in person who appeared before you. So I must say, personally speaking, and I speak on behalf of millions and millions of citizens, that your Lordships really bless this country with amazing constitutional morality, amazing constitutional ethos, and it will always be remembered for a long time. It's been a privilege for me personally appearing before you, and I really can't hold my emotions because I genuinely felt when I wrote that article in Indian Express the day you took over that everything was lost. I may be very pessimistic, but I was actually meaning what had happened. And I must say with great sense of satisfaction that your Lordships are leaving this court in great hands of Justices Lalit and many judges who are going to follow. And I have no doubt that the kind of atmosphere, the kind of culture, the kind of power that you have given to this institution will continue to be strengthened further. Thank you very, very much. I wish you lots of good luck, and I particularly congratulate Mrs. Ramana and family members on this wonderful day, because but for them, you would not have been what you are. Thank you so much.
May I take this opportunity, your Lordships, to thank your Lordships, especially from the ladies from the bar, your Lordships' inclusive policies have been path-breaking, and in fact, they have brought us members of the bench who are outstanding, well-deserving for a very, very long time. And that trend obviously has to continue. Like Justice Ginsburg had said, that there should be a time when it should no longer be a celebration to invite a woman onto the bench. Maybe 100% women can be constituting benches of the Supreme Court. So I would wish to thank Lordships for that trend which has been initiated and which is, I think, irreversible now, especially in the hands of our incoming Chief Justice. I also want to bring to notice of everyone the role that Chief Justice has played in talking about our judiciary, not just in India, but globally, abroad. And he has actually brought, I think, a large audience to understand that the Indian judiciary is a very strong judiciary, despite having the kind of challenges that it has. It is an extremely strong judiciary, and the trend is certainly going to be following. I welcome Justice Lalit also as our Chief Justice. Very grateful.
On behalf of the Women Lawyers Association, my lords, I thank your lordship for being an excellent human being, my lords, and also taking into account the needs of the women lawyers. In fact, I'm really grateful to your lordship for opening and elevating Justice Nidhi Gupta, my lords. She was part of this bar and this court, and it's a first step, my lords. And I request Lordship Justice Lalit to take over and ensure there's gender parity, my lords, on the bench, at least in tribunals and courts across the country. And I wish you a very happy birthday in advance and retirement with a full life of peace, good health and happiness. And I welcome Justice Lordship Lalit. And I thank Justice Hima Kohli, who's been an inspiration to all women lawyers.
Thank you. Yeah, Your Lordship. But without repeating anything what my learned colleagues have talked, my lord, we will be failing in our duty. We will not thank your lordship, my lord, for uplifting and strengthening, my lord, another facet of judicial justice delivery system, my lord. That is the ADR system, my lord. Your lordships have, my lord, globally enhanced, my lord, the India's image in ADR justice delivery system, my lord, especially, my lord, mediation and arbitration. Your lordships, my lord, showing the opening of another international center in Hyderabad is, my lord, another way forward. And I believe, my lord Justice Lalit and the successor Chief Justice will, my lord, strengthen the system, and we will have international centers all over India, my lord, in almost all high courts. We are grateful, my lord, for your lordships, my lord, strengthening and, my lord, the faith of the people of this country in, my lord, the judicial system. We are, my lord, in fact grateful, my lord, your lordships have, my lord, enhanced the, my lord, repo of the judiciary amongst, my lord, the word map. We are grateful to you, lordship.
Thank you.
Lordship, I'd like to say something on behalf of the lady members of the bar and entire bar. As a former secretary of the Supreme Court Bar Association, I thank you from the entire Bar Association, all the members. They have been talking in the corridors that how sad they are that you're leaving us today. And you have brought the three important brains, the lady brains in the Supreme Court, and they are wonderful. And I hope Justice Lalit also continues this, and we welcome you, sir, because you are one of us, and we are very happy that you are taking over. So we thank you, sir, for everything.
My Lord the Chief Justice, my Lord, I have known you for over 35 years. Altitudes in life have not brought about any attitudinal changes in you. My Lord, you will go a long way. In that shelters, the overnight traveler is not the journey's end. Your journey will continue. God bless you.
My Lord, on behalf of Advocate and Card Association, my Lord, I share the same feeling, my Lord, and I wish, my Lord, happy, healthy and peaceful retirement life, my Lord.
I just wish to thank you, sir. As a secretary of the bar, you are always available for us. For one call, you would call the whole ECRS for any problems. You gave us a lot, a chamber issue, a auditorium, everything. And for the judicial appointments also, you have done around 250. And for the first time, 9 judges were appointed in your tenure. You would be remembered for it, sir. Wish you a very happy life, sir.
My Lord, only one thing.
as a former officer of the Bar Association, we are extremely grateful to your Lordship because of, irrespective of senior and junior or advocate or non-advocate, the Lordship treated us one as same, and therefore we are extremely grateful to your Lordship.
Thank you.
Lords, individuals will come and individuals will go, but the institution's greatness will not remain. You are a real role model for lakhs and crores of people of this country. Thank you, Lord.
Want to say something?
Myself, Balraj Malik, on behalf of Supreme Court Lawyer Firm, Your Honor, we are very happy and thrilled. And I am speaking on behalf of the Supreme Court Lawyer Firm, especially for thanking our Chief Justice who is retiring today. We are so thrilled that Indian population of this country read the most and most news regarding your statements in the newspaper. Because people of the country see always toward the judiciary most nowadays. Even from all organs of the government, the most important organ is our judiciary, and we appreciate unanimously, Your Honor, that you got 100 out of 100 as per our points. And sir, 1 more minute. I appreciate the sentiments of Mr. Dave, senior advocate, fully endorse the sentiment of Dave, sir. And only this time, Supreme Court Lawyer Firm speaking something for a Chief Justice, and that's Chief Justice, you are, Your Honor. We welcome you, and we are welcoming the new coming Chief Justice Lalit sir also. And we would like even that what Chief Justice of this country is speaking, the most people of this country always read, even not reading what Prime Minister or other people are saying, but what Chief Justice and Judiciary of this country is saying, that is most important for this country. Thank you very much.
I share the sentiments which have been expressed by every one of you. But another dimension to be added to, from our side, as Mr. Sibal mentioned, the other family. And I must tell you that for last almost about a year or so, three of us in the collegium led by the Honorable Chief Justice, we have relentlessly went through every recommendation which came, considered it, and from our side, take that job as expeditiously as possible. And as the learned administrator mentioned, more than 250 vacancies were filled up during this period, which is 1 year. If you consider the total strength of the judges in the High Court, it is almost 1/3 of that. So 1/3 of the present strength was actually filled up in last 1 year. And the credit goes to it was a mission board which was actually what the Chief Justice had decided for us. And that's what is the greatest contribution that one can always remember. Tomorrow a day will come when perhaps a large number of judges in this court would be judges who were appointed during the period of hunger. And that's the contribution, that's only one facet of the contribution. There are a number of them, and what has been mentioned by Mr. Ravi, and I can understand why he got so emotional about it. So that's the contribution, that's the level of contribution, and that's the level at which Justice Muthalapati Venkatramaya is. Thank you.
Brother Justice Lalit, Sister Justice Sima Puri. Sri K. Venugopal, Attorney General, Tushar Mehta, Solicitor General, Singh Class Singh, President, Office Bearers, and other members of the Supreme Court Bar Association, Manoj Kumar Mishra, President and Office Bearers of this forum, senior advocates, members of the bar, ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely grateful to all of you for being very generous and kind to me in your words. Today, I bow down to all those who helped me to evolve into what I am today. I am fortunate enough to be part of this great institution for 22 long years and am demeting office with utmost content. Since the bar is hosting a farewell in this afternoon, I would like to touch upon only a few issues concerning the bar and bench now. Indian judiciary has grown with time and waves of democracy. It cannot be defined or judged by one single order of judgment. At all times, the majesty of this great institution shall be protected and defended by both the bench and the bar. Unless the credibility of this institution is protected, being the officers of this court, we cannot command respect from the people in the society. The alert and participatory bar can alone strengthen the judiciary. Because of your efforts and cooperation, the country's progressive jurisprudence evolved. We have to admit the fact that the pendency is a huge challenge before us. I must admit that issues of listing and posting of matters is one of the areas on which I could not pay requisite attention. I am sorry for that. We are busy in firefighting on all the days. On day-to-day basis, we work. All sides are equally contributors for this problem. The only way out for this is to reform the functioning of the system. We need to deploy modern technology tools and artificial intelligence to find a lasting solution. Even though we tried developing some modules, because of the compatibility and security issues, we could not make such much progress. Due to COVID emergency, the priority was running of the courts. Unlike commercial establishments, we cannot secure the technological tools from the market directly. Needs of judiciary are different from those of the rest. Sourcing new technologies through government agencies also a huge task in itself. Then there is inherent resistance to all things new. Unless the bar is willing to extend the wholehearted cooperation, it will be difficult to bring in necessary changes. We have to evolve and march forward in tune with changing times. The juniors who entered into the profession look up to the seniors and their growth as their role models. I request all the seniors to guide them to be on the right path. Criticism easy. Let us stay clear and avoidable bickerings. Let all of us march forward with discussion and dialogue in the process of giving speedy and affordable justice to the common man. I am not the last or the first one to contribute for development of the institution. Several great people have contributed immensely to advance the cause of justice. Unfortunately, during the past 16 months, my tenure as CJI full-fledged hearing was possible only about 50 days. People may come and go, but the institution remains forever. Of course, each one of us have to make our own contribution. I have done my bit to the best of my ability. The bar may have many long pending issues. I have tried to address them to the extent possible. Be it additional space of office or chambers or any other reasonable demands, I have directed the registry to attend to the same on priority, and I believe the results are satisfactory. I thank all my colleagues and all the members of the bar for their active support and cooperation. I will certainly miss you all. Thank you.
This meeting is no longer being recorded.